In a prior lecture, I used Jasper, an AI-based writing tool, to identify potential business processes based on interview notes, and I used those to initiate the draft of a DFD. I also mentioned the rapid growth of the number of AI writing assistants that are currently available. So in this lecture, we're going to switch things up. I'm going to explore the capabilities of ChatGPT version 4, which is the most recent release. It is also the most widely recognized and arguably most powerful tool of its kind. I'm going to use it to AI storm process descriptions. Now, I introduced you to the concept of mini-specs in the prior lecture. So let's test ChatGPT's ability to help me draft them for two functions of the proposed FeedMe app. FeedMe is a revolutionary tool that is designed to streamline healthy eating for travelers with specific dietary needs like allergies. It uses your personal profile and GPS to find and recommend specific menu items, not just restaurants, specific menu items that match your individual dietary and budgetary preferences. It's going to be basically from vendors in your vicinity, wherever you are. The app will allow you to filter meals by cost or nutrition, place orders in advance, make payments, request delivery, pickup, or dine-in, and all of that directly from within the app. That's what makes it revolutionary. Among many others, we identified find nearby restaurants as a functional primitive. It's crucial to the FeedMe app. Let's now instruct ChatGPT to draft the mini-specs for this function. In order to ensure a quality response, I want to make sure that it understands the purpose of the function first. So here's my direct prompt. Mini-specs are textual descriptions of how a primitive process works. Write the mini-specs for the find nearby restaurants process, which will only find vendors who offer menu items that match your dietary and budgetary profiles. Because a primary function of the app is to only recommend menu items that don't trigger allergic reactions, it needs access to a list of ingredients for each menu item. And here's ChatGPT's response. Process name, find nearby restaurants. Input, user location, makes sense. Dietary profile, kind of that. Monetary profile, pretty obvious, so we need to know that. Allergic profile, that's the critical one because we're trying to avoid getting bad food. Process steps. Profile verification. System confirms the user's dietary, monetary, and allergy profiles. Location determination. The system determines the user's current geographical location. Now that's GPS. Restaurant search. Filter application. Dietary compatibility check. The system reviews the menu items available at each of the remaining restaurants. It identifies items that align with the user's dietary profile and excludes those that do not. Restaurants without any compatible menu items are excluded from the list. So that's pretty much one of the core features of this app. Allergy check. The system checks the ingredients of each potential menu item against the user's allergic profile. Final list generation. The system generates a final list of nearby restaurants, including only those establishments with at least one compatible non-allergenic menu item. Output. A list of nearby restaurants. Each restaurant in the list includes the name and address of the restaurant, contact information if available, selection of menu items that align with the user's dietary and allergy profiles, and fall within their preferred price range. Sounds perfect. Error handling. Oh, it's even offering me that. In the case of no nearby restaurants meeting the user's criteria, if the system cannot determine the user's location, I have to ask for that. If a restaurant does not provide full ingredient lists, they're not going to be on the list. If the system experiences a connectivity issue during the process, technology, gotta have that. This provides a solid foundation for creating mini-specs. However, as the business analyst or requirements engineer, whatever you're called, the onus is on you to ensure the mini-specs accuracy, relevance, and completeness. Next step, I want to take a demonstration further and explore if ChatGPT can help me identify business rules. That's another form of mini-spec. Now, given that a core feature of the Feed Me app is to help users find safe meals devoid of allergic ingredients, I've selected the primitive function, update menu items. ChatGPT delivers function name, update menu items. Input, vendor ID. That's good. Got to have a vendor ID. A menu items, a list of all menu items offered by the vendor, including each item's name, price, and a complete list of ingredients. That's absolutely critical for this function. The function steps, vendor verification, system verifies the vendor ID, menu validation, the vendor submits their updated menu items, including names, prices, and ingredient lists. The data checking, the system checks each submitted menu item for completeness and validity, menu update, and then confirmation. System sends a confirmation message to the vendor. Cool. The only output is list is the confirmation message, a message sent to the vendor confirming that their menu update was successful and it's now live on the system. It also mentioned the fact that you have updated database with new items in there as output. Business rules. All menu items must be provided with complete ingredient lists. Each ingredient list should be as specific as possible to ensure correct dietary and allergen matching. Prices must be accurate and reflect the current price at the time of submission. Changes to menu items, such as ingredient alterations, must be updated in the system as soon as possible to prevent mismatches with user dietary and allergy profiles. Really critical. Menu items must adhere to all relevant food safety and preparation guidelines as per the local health and safety regulations. Makes sense. And now it's error handling. For this function, if the system encounters an error while updating the menu items, like due to incomplete or improperly formatted data, it notifies the vendor with a detailed error message, highlighting the problematic items and suggesting corrective action. So we're going to make sure that they do it right. In case of a system or connectivity issue during the update, system will attempt to save progress and prompt the vendor to try again later. Also sends, by the way, a notification to the system administrator for troubleshooting. If a vendor attempts to update their menu without a valid vendor ID, the system will prompt them to register or check their ID and try again. These business rules will help ensure that the app functions effectively, providing accurate and relevant information to its users, while adhering to our corporate philosophy and beliefs. So all in all, I think the demo shows that ChatGPT can provide some great ideas for either textual mini-specs or for AI storming potential business rules. Obviously, neither of these are ready for prime time without verification by all relevant stakeholders, but they certainly serve as great starters for conversations and interviews. And that is most assuredly a win-win for the project.